And he was just doing his job and not knowing that this would be his last day.
The Richardson community tonight showing love and support for a fallen officer. David Sherrard is the first officer, in fact, to be killed in the line of duty in Richardson's 63-year history. And as we join you at 6 o'clock, we are learning more about Officer Sherrard.
We have team coverage of tonight's big story, starting with J.D. Miles at Richardson's police headquarters. J.D.?
Gilman, Doug, the blue balloons and flowers you see adorning this SUV are in honor of fallen officer David Sherrard, but they're also symbols of support for all officers. People have been coming here to headquarters today, bringing everything from Girl Scout cookies and snacks, as you would for the family of a lost loved one. This department has never lost an officer in the line of duty, and this process is something it's never experienced in 63 years.
It's the hardest day we've ever had. We're not doing well, but I will tell you this. This is a police department of professionals.
Richardson Police Chief Jimmy Spivey describes the day after a standoff outside an apartment complex where Officer David Sherrard was shot and killed. The 37-year-old husband and father of two arrived at a disturbance call and found a man shot in the doorway who later died.
Where they made an entry and immediately encountered gunfire. Officer David Sherrard was wounded. He fell back out of the apartment, was aided by other officers.
Inside the apartment, the suspected shooter, Brandon D. McCall, kept officers at bay for 5 hours until tear gas forced him out. Neighbors recorded his screams of "I'm sorry" echoing through the complex.
I can tell you that Officer Sherrard is a brave, tenured police officer who died in the service of his community.
The officer's death led to an outpouring of support from citizens.
We just love the police force. I mean, they're here to help us, and this is a senseless, unnecessary crime. He should not have died.
Early today, the officer's widow posted a message that called her husband the greatest man on earth, who loved her more than she deserved, and she is broken. I'm told that detectives are going through body cam footage from Officer Sherrard to determine how all of this went down. Governor Abbott came here today to meet with the chief, a meeting that I'm told was more like a pep talk that officers here needed. Live in Richardson, J.D. Miles, CBS 11 News.
J.D., thanks. There was somebody else involved in this last night. As we know, the first victim in this shooting personally knew the man who now sits in jail. Police identified 30-year-old Rene Gomez as the man who was killed at that Richardson apartment complex before Officer Sherrard had arrived. Gomez, according to his co-workers, had known the suspect, Brandon D. McCall, for years. It's believed Gomez was helping him with a temporary place to stay.
He'd give you his last dollar if he didn't have nothing either. Like, you know what I mean? Just, he would never let somebody suffer alone.
That friend we spoke with, Brian Doe, told us Gomez was scheduled to work last night. Co-workers heard the news about the shooting, but they say they never expected the two people that they knew would be part of that tragedy.